Hey everybody, hope we're doing well. Welcome back to a very important, a very special episode of CSCO News. As always, we have tons of stories, tons of great stories for all of you guys today. Time markers are down below, so please check those out. If you guys are interested in only a few of those stories, please check those out and click on whatever interests you guys. So first off, I do want to talk about this team at actual Fragadelphia going on this weekend, guys. We have several tournaments. We have DreamHack Lightspec as well as we have Fragadelphia, other events, WESG finals, all going on this weekend. A lot of great tournaments, but Fragadelphia was one of them. A smaller prize pool, only a $30,000 prize pool, guys, but money was still on the line, and so that's why I want to talk about this team, actually composed of a former IBA Power player that was actually Brax, alongside Whitmer, Desi, Pterodactyl, and Twist as their fifth member. This team was at Fragadelphia and accused of cheating, as well as Brax himself individually accused of cheating. I do want to talk about this, guys, and actually offer my own opinion on this. And again, a pretty big story here because many of you guys know Brax being the ex-IBA Power player, this being one of his first competitive tournaments back where there's actually prize money on the line, and Brax himself is individually accused of cheating with this tweet right here by players on Insomnia as well as other players and casters too, because he wore a hat and a hoodie, and then his headset, you guys could clearly see, was off. Now we're back to this whole thing. During the ESL Pro League, we had some Immortals players who play with their headsets off, mainly Henny. He was actually accused for several months afterwards as well of his cheating scandal there versus Cloud9. Other teams there having a lot of Brazilian players not wear their headsets, and now we have this team at a $30,000 prize pool. We have one individual player who actually wore a hat, a hoodie, and clearly not wearing his headset. A really big term of controversy, and even more so because he was an ex-IBA Power player. Now I do want to say I'm a little biased because I am a fan of Brax himself, but it's clearly an actual distortion of the rules, going against those rules where he could probably hear the casters. Now his teammate Pterodactyl did actually stand in it for him and say, I don't think that Brax was trying to maliciously use this in a way where he could hear the casters, but it was pretty obvious because her next tweet said that if we wanted to hear the casters, we could have done this instead. So clearly here Brax was able, because it's at a small event like Fragadelphia, the casters are right there, he could use that to his advantage. And really, when the rules say keep your headsets on, and again, we're not abiding by those rules so tightly, of course he's going to be accused of cheating. So I think it's definitely wrong on his part, especially with the whole image of him being an ex-IBA Power player. It's not helping him at all when he goes to an event, his first competitive event in a long time, and he does this kind of thing. So yes, I do agree it's wrong, but should there be a corporate punishment? Probably not. Now I do want to talk about actually this next one where this whole team individually was actually accused of cheating against Team Insomnia. Now I'm going to show you guys a pistol round on train at Fragadelphia here, and again, I do want to say this is a paid tournament, $30,000 prize pool. Whenever there's money on the line, and again, even integrity wise, if it's not a money prize pool, you should be honest with your admins as well as your teammates and your opponents as well. And this whole team here, they actually spawned into a pistol round on train, as you guys can see on screen very shortly here, and they actually spawned in Pterodactyl. They actually were all able to buy armor as well as a kit on Pterodactyl, and you can actually see in this clip that is Whitmer, yes, former Complexity Whitmer, saying, hey, there's also a smoke behind you that spawned in, and they didn't tell the admins. They continued to play the round, and yes, that is considered cheating. So I'm going to show you guys that clip right now and why this team has been very suspicious all throughout Fragadelphia. I do feel bad for them at the same time, though. You got to be honest and you got to admit to when you're cheating. So this is just in kind of disappointing news. So here's that clip.
Grab a smoke too. You want to defuse him now. He's spawned on it.
Are we ready?
Take my smoke too if you're going to commit the whole route and get armor.
Yeah, Brax, you good?
Get armor, get armor.
Yeah, I'm good. Let's
Alright,
get it.
let's
Let's do it.
Look at the smoke behind you, Sheila.
But I do have to move on, guys, to our next big CSCO news story, and definitely a much better one. TSM has officially dropped their roster for 2017, which did include Sean Gares, Twist, Shazam, Relics, or if you want to call him Skylar, as well as Sick as their fifth member. And I do want to say, guys, as of 24 hours ago, Misfits, a team actually organization coming from Dota and League of Legends, I've never heard of them before. They actually came over to CSGO and signed these guys in a perfect title too, a perfect org name, and the transaction happened so fast. I mean, we really 2 weeks ago, TSM was saying, we might kick Sean Gares, and then we had Shazam and Twist come out and say, you know what, if Sean Gares gets kicked, I'm with them. And now we have 2 weeks later, Misfits signing all these guys, and only a couple days after TSM officially announced them dropping their roster, they've been signed by Team Misfits org guys, and this is going to be your new 5-man North American roster. And why this is so big, if you guys are North American fans, I do honestly think it's going to be at least a top 5 North American lineup. Now let me explain why very briefly here, guys, for all of you who are actually interested. Now Sean Gares, arguably for many of you out there, an overrated in-game leader, especially as of late. He played for Echo Fox. Echo Fox saw no success. We could say they had a few tournament winnings because they were able to play smaller tournaments and out-kick those tier 2, tier 3 teams. Now you go to ESL Pro League, they really did not do too well there. Now again, a decent performance, but again, towards their end of their strength, the end of their lineup, and the end of their season together as a team, the end of their years together, they did definitely struggle. Now Sean Gares, to some of you, an overrated in-game leader. I still think, though, easily a top 5 North American in-game leader. Now we move on to Twist, a 17-year-old star who many people think is going to be an outbreak player when he's older because he's only 17. He has so much time to progress. and definitely one of your top North American riflers. He's followed shortly by Shazam, which I personally think is easily a top 3 North American opper, that is, and again, by many of you guys out there, maybe even your number 1 North American opper. So a great solid 3 there, and then you add on Skylar. I could say Relics is probably your 5th man, who's definitely kind of your leniency. So you can definitely get rid of Skylar. I don't mean to be mean to Relics here, but you could definitely see him being replaced by someone who's a bit better than him. He's definitely one of those players on this team who's probably overlooked quite often. But then we round out this lineup with someone who's very, very surprising. We've seen Thorne talk about this guy as well. That is Sick, another outbreak player, hopefully for 2017, who is definitely your second fragger compared to Twist on this TSM lineup over the course of the past year. These two have been second and first fragging over the course of many events for this team, and he is definitely one of your better North American riflers. So again, you have a solid at least 4 in this lineup. Sean Gare's top 5 IGL. We have Shazam, probably a top 3, if not a top 2 North American opper. Then we have Twist and Sick being probably both top 10 North American riflers right now, at least in the TSM, tournaments. They always go 1, 2 in frag. So TSM, watch out, guys. They are now under the Misfits organization. They will be a top 5 North American organization in 2017, and some org to look out for coming sometime soon. I cannot wait for their first event together, and that was an absolutely huge CSGO news. Now, also moving on to all of you guys, going on to ESPN. Many of you guys know here in America, a big sports network. They actually featured on their top esports play of the year, the number 1 esports play of the year. That was S1mple. Many of you guys know over there. It was actually on Cash. He had the double op shot, jump shot. You guys, I'm not even going to show you guys the clip. He actually made ESPN's top esports play of the year. So again, he was also Red Bull esports player of the year a couple weeks ago. So a lot of praise coming S1mple's way, and good timing as well, because we do the major coming sometime soon. So congrats to S1mple on the top esports play of the year. And 2 more big CSGO news, guys. YouTube has bought the right for ESL Pro League Season 5, and now they also gone ahead and kind of for an undisclosed amount, they have actually bought the season rights for both Season 5 and Season 6 as well. That's next year's season. Kind of insane here to see that we've also had ESL Pro League Seasons 1 through 4 exclusively streamed on Twitch, and all of a sudden, for an undisclosed amount, YouTube has bought the rights for Season 5 and Season 6. So hopefully Season 5 goes well, because they've actually bought it ahead of a year now. Gonna be really cool to see how YouTube live streaming does. Now, I talked about this near a week ago when this was actually suspected to come out. It has now officially been released that YouTube has bought those exclusivity rights, and Twitch will not be able to stream these games. Now, we will have knockoff casters probably able to stream that on Twitch, but not going to be an official ESL account on Twitch. It will be through YouTube. Probably going to hit viewership this first season. Now, hopefully, if it goes well though on YouTube, that will help viewership in the future. So again, we're going to see that transition of audience from Twitch to YouTube. Going to, pretty much saying that YouTube and Twitch and all these servers out there are trying to get their bits of the pie, and they've actually bought those rights. Now, even in bigger news, guys, we do have Counter-Strike Classic Offensive. Many of you guys have seen pro players out there playing CSCO. Many people complaining about CSGO, so they've been moving over to CSCO. It's kind of like, if I had to make a comparison to my earlier career here, guys, on YouTube, I would say a RuneScape 3 and old school RuneScape split here. CSCO is actually catching on quite well. There's a mod there. You guys can download it for free. I'm not going to link that to you guys. There's many YouTube videos out there. Just make sure you get the right one. And yes, CSCO is very fun. And they now have FaceIT matchmaking for CSCO, which is actually really funny to see. I watched a match play the other day on YouTube. So yes, Counter-Strike Classic Offensive now has matchmaking on FaceIT. Great interaction from FaceIT though to actually instill this. Obviously, ESEA probably not going to be doing something like this for quite some time after the hack, and they do need to bounce back there shortly. Not many people really trusting them as of right now. I know that we even saw professional casters and retired players from Renegade, Sponge. He was actually one of those people who was compromised by ESEA. But FaceIT, now another update after their anti-cheat updates very recently, they have now come out with FaceIT matchmaking for CSCO. And I also want to talk about, to close out today's episode of CSGO News, I really want to talk about the WESG finals. Many of you know, probably going to be the largest prize pool of 2017 here, $1.5 million. Ended just about 12 hours ago for all of you. We do our top 4 on screen right now. Envious did come away with the first place prize of $800,000. Makes you not feel so bad if the French shuffle does happen, guys. For people like Happy and everyone left out of that new French team, at least these Envious players do come away with a large prize pool here. $800,000 for the first place prize, arguably more than they've made. Actually, I looked it up for all of you guys. In the past 2 years, since we had February of 2015 when they started their CSGO team, Envious has only made half of that. They actually doubled their income over the past 2 years in one single day here at WESG Finals, or I guess you could say 3 single days. They doubled their CSGO team's earnings by $800,000. Absolutely insane there. We also had Kingwin take second place, $400,000. That is more than they've ever made in their entire CSGO history, even with that old G2 lineup over there. We also have Virtus Pro take third place and Space Soldiers take fourth. Really interesting though, if you guys see Kingwin take second place there, why it's so interesting though is because Kingwin took on Virtus Pro in the semifinal matchup, and they not only beat Virtus Pro, they actually swept them 2-0. I'll show them on screen right now. Team Kingwin beat Virtus Pro 2-0. Maybe rethinking all of you guys out there who are trying to pick Virtus Pro for the next Elite League major. Kingwin dominated them, beat them 2-0 there, and Envious beat out Space Soldiers. So arguably there for Envious, an easier path taking out Space Soldiers. And then again, Virtus Pro did take out Space Soldiers in that third place matchup. But again, that rounds out your top 4 there. I also do want to talk about, guys, we had that Chinese discrepancy many of you know about. We had Tyloo and CyberZen in arguably very easy groups. Of course, Tyloo kind of hindered there because they only had 2 of their original players. That was Mo and DD. They lost 3 of their 5 players right before the tournament because of that incident where a few of the players were actually looking to join another organization. They were negotiating with other teams. The coach was in on it too, and so many of those guys were actually banned from the team. They play with 3 stand-in players. So Tyloo, actually your only Chinese team here to break the top 10. We had 5 esports club also there. We also had, of course, CyberZen, and they placed well outside the top 10. So a very kind of disappointing performance here. If you guys want to think about North American hosts at ESL New York, where North American teams often get top 4 or top 8 when they're in a North American event, at least we have one team there. Kind of a disappointment here, especially with those Chinese, maybe those Chinese allegations where they're a little bit more competitive than we are here. Not one single Chinese team broke the top 10 here. So kind of disappointment there, but still really good to see these teams being very competitive. And Envious, a big surprise there as they take home the grand prize of $800,000. So really cool to see that. As well as I want to talk about very shortly here, Group A being so stacked. We got very lucky this tournament played out the way it did. Out of Group A, 3 of the top 8 teams came out of there, and those were the only 3 teams to advance out of each and every group. Many of you guys know each group had 6 teams. They only advanced 3 of those teams. Luckily for Group A, it was Virtus Pro, Envious, and Epsilon to all go out. Otherwise, we could have easily seen a tournament where Envious did not go out, or Virtus Pro did not get top 4. Envious did not win it because they didn't make out of group stages because that one group was stacked. So we got very lucky for the format here, guys. But yeah, that's all I want to talk about. Envious doubled their entire earnings in one day, in one sitting, in one single best of 3 series. Crazy to see that. Hope you guys all enjoy this episode of CSCO News. As always, my name is Jake. Remember, I like you. I will see you guys all later today with more live streaming, more giveaways, and hopefully probably tomorrow or maybe sometime soon with another CSGO video. Hope you guys all enjoy. Remember, I like you. I'll see you next time. Remember, I like you. Goodbye.